Hey everyone, it's Mike with It's Pittsfield Tonight. I'm going to jump right into it. It is Sunday, December 22nd. It is cold out. I'm looking over at my little weather station there. I've got 3 degrees right now, and it's about 9 a.m. So it is cold. We've got a cold weekend. It's going to warm up a little bit, but it's still winter. So, yeah, if you're out, bundle up. If not, stay home. Stay warm. All right, so this video I want to talk about just 4 different topics we're going to touch on. Of course, we're going to touch on briefly the Pittsfield Public Schools. And that is because, as you know, all hell broke loose about a week or 2 weeks ago now. And it's been, every day it seems more and more information is how it was going. So on Friday, if any of you are like me, every couple hours I was going to the local media outlets just to see like who got popped now. Who I hated to do that, but it was going that way every day. So yeah. So I'm sure we'll be talking about that enough in the upcoming weeks. Who knows what is around the corner with that? And as long as that's an ongoing investigation, there's going to be more coming out, I'm sure. So we'll be talking about that enough. The other thing, second, that I want to talk about is many of you saw I put a post up about my opinion on the Berkshire Carousel. And the reason I did that is because that's a hot topic right now. The Shulman family that owns the carousel wants to gift it to the city of Pittsfield, and they have a lot of stipulations that go with that. I personally do not think the city of Pittsfield right now, with everything on the city's to-do list, running and operating a carousel would be beneficial in any way whatsoever. Because you're talking having to hire staff, finding a new location, or if you left it at that location, it's been there for almost a decade. It didn't work then. For whatever reason, we don't know. I don't see it working anywhere as a city project. And a carousel it's as a standalone attraction, there's no draw there. It's a limited audience if it's a standalone attraction. So a few things had been mentioned. Some people suggested the Common. I saw that one a bit. Again, I don't think that would work. I really don't. You can't move that building it's in. You can move the carousel, but that building would have to be repurposed, sold, demoed, whatever, and money would have to be invested into building a new building. There'd have to be security. There'd have to be staff. It's just, there's no way. There's no way that's a smart investment for the city of Pittsfield right now. And it's a generous gift to give, no doubt. It's a beautiful piece of art. I have no doubt about that. So I suggested, if the Shulman family that owns it really wants to keep it locally, I thought, where would the best place be and who would be the best stewards of that? And I thought Milltown and Bosque. Every time I drove by there, I said, I could see that right here, right next to that main building there, because Bosque has a ton of family events. In the summer, you see the outdoor concerts and families and kids all over the place. There's a lot of different stuff they're doing there, and that would be such a cool addition to that. And the scenery is beautiful. The backdrop of that is beautiful. And I pictured it, and I said, man, that would really be cool. To a few people who thought, no, that wouldn't be fair. It wouldn't be accessible to people without transportation if there's no bus route. I get what you're saying, but this is basically, it's a private company. It's a private thing. It wouldn't be a city-run or government-funded project, I wouldn't think. I just thought because here's the other side of that coin. If Milltown even saw that video I did, they might go, hey, thanks for mentioning us, but we're not interested. I don't even know if they would be interested in entertaining that idea. I do think it would be awesome right there. It would look super cool. Milltown has been incredibly philanthropic in our community. They've been very generous. And I thought, how cool would it be to have that there? It would look beautiful. And they do have the means and the resources to take care of it. and treat it the way it should be treated. And maybe if the Schulman family was open to that and Milltown was open to it, they could work something out where if they didn't want it down the road, that it could be given back to the Schulman family or guaranteed that it would go somewhere safe or something like that. Something they could work out. I think that would be a good idea. I was trying to think of where it would work. And it's that place is the only place I could think of that would work for us, because it has to be a setting that has multiple attractions, multiple things to do. A carousel as a standalone attraction, there's no draw there. There isn't, in my opinion. So that's that on that. So the other thing I want to talk about is garbage. So many of you know, right before all that hell broke loose in our Pittsfield Public School systems, the big topic we were discussing is garbage. And I was booking an interview with the mayor. I decided on my own to not call last week to schedule that, even though he had told me to previously. I knew how much he had going on with everything that was happening in the schools, and I didn't want to try to hit him with an interview on trash in the middle of this. I just didn't think it was appropriate. So I was waiting for that to calm down a little bit, but it is greatly important. I mean, we need to talk about that, because one of the big things was these automated trucks have been picking up totes that are bigger than 48. So we were told the city had to choose one size tote for the reason that the vehicles could only be calibrated to pick up one size container. So that needs to be talked about, because the people that were unhappy with the tote system, they weren't unhappy with totes. They were unhappy that they didn't have a choice in a different size container. Some people could have went with smaller. A lot of people wanted the 96. A lot of people wanted the 64. They didn't want to be forced into buying a second tote for $160 a year. So there's that. I also have to mention, because a lot of people are telling me they haven't gotten their second garbage tote. I've seen those. I've been trying to stay really positive about this, but I have gotten all your messages, and I have read them. One that grabbed my attention is in Ward 5, and I received 3 or 4 at least. So Friday is trash day for Ward 5, West Pittsfield. And some parts of it were picked up, but specifically Lebanon Ave, Melbourne Ave, that area, they never came and got their trash, which it's still there. It's Sunday, and people still have because they don't know what's going on or what they're supposed to be doing with it. Did someone just forget them? Did a truck break down? Did something happen? When are they coming? Because you're coming into a holiday week. I highly doubt these people are going to want to drag their trash back into their house or into their garage when it's been sitting out on the side of the road for 2 days. So to Patrick Cavey, the Ward 5 counselor, many of them did tell me they sent you messages, but if you haven't seen those and you see this, check your messages. You have constituents that want to know what's going on, or any at-large counselor, or even Mayor Marchetti, if he sees this. I can put you in touch with some of the constituents in that ward that are trying to figure out what's happening. So, I wanted to touch on that. The last thing in closing I want to talk about briefly is business closings in Pittsfield. So we saw yesterday we're losing another one. Big Lots is gone, and they're ceasing operations as a company. So, but it's still for Pittsfield. It's just another hit. We just lost Staples, which was a loss I don't think we needed to take. I wish somebody had intervened with that. When I went up there to purchase some stuff shortly before they closed, I spoke to a manager. And they told me, look, we had because I asked him what happened. And he said, we had no intentions of leaving. That we've been here for 20 years or 20 plus years. They were getting ready to sign a new lease, and they were informed by the landlord, from what I was told, that there would be a drastic increase in the rent. Like drastic. It was going to move from like $25,000 to $47,000 or something like that. It was a huge increase. Staples couldn't do that. So that was the end of it. And he thought, maybe they have somebody else that's coming in here. I don't know. I'm going to reach out to some people because that's just what I was told. I don't know if any of that, I haven't verified any of that. I don't want to spread a rumor, but I was told that by a few people. And the manager that I spoke to, and he was off the record, said, look, we were going to re-sign the lease. Sales were good here. This was a great performing store. So it wasn't anything like that. It wasn't that it was underperforming and they closed for those reasons. It was a big increase in the rent, and it wasn't viable for them to re-sign at that amount. It just wasn't going to work. So, that was sad to hear that. Because every business we lose, even some of these auto parts stores that'll be closing, that's tax revenue that the city is losing that has to be made up somewhere. We're running soon close to $250 million a year to operate the city. So anyway, support your local businesses, especially this holiday season. And support your local businesses. If you can keep your money local, even if you spend a little bit more, it benefits you more in the long run, keeping that money locally, because it recirculates back into our economy. When you buy stuff online, even if it's cheaper, that money goes and doesn't come back. So if you can afford to, keep your money locally. Pittsfield Rye Bakery, one of my favorite Pittsfield businesses, will be open. I think they have their special Christmas hours. So for the holiday, if you haven't stopped up there, they're located at 1010 South Street, right behind Guido's. Amazing product. I mean, they have so many different types of breads, healthy breads. It's a nut-free facility. My favorite is the Death by Chocolate and the Cinnamon Burst. The Cinnamon Burst makes amazing French toast. But anyway, stop up for the holiday. Stop in and see Rick, Ryan, and Renee and Randy. But the Robbins family, they're great people. So check out their Facebook page too, just to verify on the hours. So that is it for now, everyone. Stay warm and stay informed. I'm sure, like I said, we'll be talking about the schools here quite a bit coming up. So, all right. Yeah, be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and I'll catch you all in the next day or two.